father started the business up in 1966, just basically in construction. We've now moved on from construction into the railway industries, and we deal a lot with GPS and laser levelling with dozers. Predominantly our work is in hiring out machines by the hour to contractors, but we offer plant solutions to get the right machine for various contractors.
This site we're doing today is a renewal for a railway track. We've had to reduce the levels to a set level, 1.5 metres below the platform, and then level it through with a laser dozer.
The reason we bought the 6K was because the 5N was no longer being produced, and so that was the natural way forward. I was given the opportunity to drive it with the GPS system on, and I found it was as good as, if not better than, the previous model, and therefore we purchased or placed the order for the first of the machines, and we took a second one very shortly afterwards. It's well accepted by the operators. It has more power to the blade than the previous models as its hydrostatic drive. It's more manoeuvrable, and we can therefore work faster on site with it.
We work a lot in industrial buildings, and there's a lot of stanchions and corners we can get into, and we can do it a lot better with a D6K. You can get right close to the edges where there's concrete beams along the edges. You can run the blade along the concrete beams and get all the stone away from the edges. It saves a lot of labour time, a lot of hand labour too.
There is improved productivity, especially in tight spaces where the machines can get in and turn much quicker than the previous models. Because you can now counter-rotate tracks, you can get into very tight corners, you can back blade out, you can work in very tight car parks, which can be very complex, where the D5N, you struggled, you couldn't get in.
Well, it's always useful in tight spaces, as you've probably seen today, whereas you try and shunt the D5 around, you're wasting a lot of time shunting it around, whereas the D6K will just spin round in its own axis. Obviously, I got a lot quicker.
Visibility is far superior. With the tracks being lower down, you can see the tips of the blade. The window space is a lot larger, so again you can see where you're going, and the vision out of the rear is a lot clearer as well.
It does give a lot more vision to the blade. You can almost see underneath the blade from in the cab.
They're in it all day. It has to be comfortable, it has to have a very good heating system or air conditioning system for the summer. They have to be able to see what they're doing, and they have to have an ease of operation, and joystick controls the way forward.
I would say yes, it's quite roomy. It's a nice position to sit. The levers are good, they're nice comfortable hand levers, and like I said before, the vision's very, very good. On the D5, your foot's on the decelerator all the time to vary your speed, whereas on the D6K, I can govern the speed down to work comfortably, you know, in tight spots and where it's got to go at a slower speed.
Reliability, design, and service backup. We found it's more powerful because we now have the full horsepower at the blade. The 6K will go through heaps of material much easier than a 5. I would suggest they go out and try it. That's all I can say.